Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new F1 23 League Racing video. This is PSGL round number 9 around Brazil. And we are heading into our first Q1 lap of today. Quite early on actually, as there's rain expected for later on in this qualifying. So I just want to get a lap in before any rain was gonna hit. And as you can see, we're leading the championship by 25 points to Thomas Ronhaar. And 33 points to Ismail Fassi, our other championship rival in WR. And yeah, as you can see, some rounds have been added to the championship. After Brazil will be Austria, Belgium, and then 2 rounds in the States. I think it will be Kota and Las Vegas, not sure. But yeah, today we're looking to extend our championship lead once again around Brazil. Usually not my strongest track, not gonna lie. I have not had a win here yet in PSGL, even though I've raced here like 6 times since I've started racing in PSGL. Not a single time I've managed to win, so let's try and do that today. And yeah, as you can even say, terrible lap here at the start of Q1. Only P5 at the moment, with still many people to set their laps. We were quite early on in the session going out, and again we're doing the same for our last run in Q1, simply due to the fact that rain is expected to hit at the very end of Q1. So that's why we're out a little bit early. It might be a little bit of a disadvantage going out earlier, simply due to the track grip, but going out later is just such a huge risk, and I felt like we would have the pace to get into Q2 anyway. So Ismail Fassi, P3 in the championship, going to provisional P1. Not sure if that will stand by the end of the session, but as you can see, we are on a decent improvement at the moment. Half a tent up as we pick up a little bit of marbles, and that is just very costly time-wise, unfortunately. And yeah, 1 tent up though, as we exit that very tight right-hander into the final sector, and that's a big time gain on such a short track, 1 tent. Brazil is always very close in qualifying, so a 1.5 tent gain is huge in terms of positions. As you can see in the top left, we're about to jump up at least 10 positions. We are going from P15 to P3. If I remember correctly, and yeah, P4 at the end of the session. Didn't take a lot of risk there, but easily through into Q2. And yeah, we did use 2 sets of softs, but that is fine considering Q2 is going to be wet. It was already raining quite heavily at the end of Q1, and yeah, our other teammate Danny Bresnay in P14, Barry Borman, Nicolas Longre, Joni Tomla, Brendan Lee and Simon Weigang out in Q1. Barry and Nicolas both not doing qualifying and just decided to start from the back of the grid. So it's really bad. Here we go then. Start of Q2, intermediate conditions, and the rain is only going to get heavier throughout Q2. So this might be the only lap we are gonna get. And if you're wondering what I was talking about there, I had a lot of bad screen freezes on the outlap, so with just this being the only probably valid lap we're gonna get, or the only lap that's gonna give us decent grip, this did not give me a lot of confidence. Yeah, pressure on for a single lap, and I had really bad screen freeze. I'm not sure if you guys can see it through the recording, but it was really bad when I was driving. But nonetheless, we have to perform here and get into Q2. We can't have screen freezes ruin our qualifying session. We have to stay focused. So into the tighty section we go of sector 2. Very important not to lock the radar. You have to brake on the curb, and especially in the wet, that's just very slippery and very tricky. Easy to get a massive snap on the entry into the tight right-hander we go. Easy to lock up the right front and run wide. We, however, nail it. Then downhill left-hander. Very easy flat out in dry. However, in the wet, it's not that easy. Purple middle sector for us as we go into the final sector of our only Q2 lap probably. Freddie Rasmussen first across the line with a 1:13.6. The second to cross the line does not improve on that. The third one neither, and we come across the line and we improve on that.
I don't get
by
it.
3/10. And
it always happens.
as you can hear me complain about the screen freezes. However, it was enough to get us into Q3 by 1.5 tenths to Ismail Fassing. Fabrizio Donoso, Ruben Pedreno, Alvaro Carreton, Joshi Doe, and Shanaka Clay all out in Q2. And yeah, let's hope for another wet Q3 session, just like we had last time out in Mexico, where we managed to get our first pole position in ages. However, as you can see here, it is slicks again for Q3 for our first lap. Grip on this lap was not ideal. It was still very slippery, but slicks were faster for this one. And as we go across the line, it's a 1:10.403. And yeah, that's quite of the pace. Around 3 seconds of the pace relative to a full dry session. So as you can see here, traffic paradise at the end of Q3. Everyone wants to set their lap as late as possible to get the best track conditions possible. However, there's still like 7 people in the last corner, and we're gonna have to get on with it. The last sector is only 17 seconds long, so if we did not go for the overtake there, we would have been not be able to make it probably. You can see Freddy behind us and Luke Smith both trying to get ahead of each other as we start our lap, and we open the DRS starting our lap. We're only gonna have like 4 seconds remaining. Made it actually 3 seconds remaining as we cross the line to start our lap. It was crucial that we got ahead of those 2 cars starting our lap, and now we have to get focused. Grip might still not be ideal in this lap, however we do not really have any time to test it. We have to be on it straight away. We cannot make any mistakes. Into sector 2 we go. Nicely done there, good minimum speed, no major mistakes through turn 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we go through the mechanical grip section. Again, very easy to lock up the rear through there, easy to lose the back end. No marbles picked up this time, and you can see it's been a relatively good lap. However, Freddy behind us is actually quite close. Might be picking up a little bit of dirty air through here, but through this section and onto the straight, he might be getting actually a very decent tow from us. And I reckon he's got a good chance on getting pole position. It's a 50.9 split, and that means it's relatively to Q1 a very slow lap. But you can see from the times there, everyone is doing slow laps, and we go to provisional P2, make that P3 as Luke Smith actually got pole position as he crossed the line. 1.5 tenths clear of P2. We absolutely nailed it there at the end of Q3. Maybe a little bit of slipstream as well in the last sector, I'm not sure, but nonetheless was a great lap. 1.5 tenths clear of P2. We got ourselves in P3, and crucially our championship rival Thomas in P6. So great quali for us there. Now we go into the race. We're going to be starting on the hard compound of tire. A lot of soft runners around us, and away we go for round number 9 of the PSGL Championship. We got Freddy behind us on the softs. We leave the space to our teammate Danny Bresnay on the inside, and we keep P3. We're going to be using a bit of our battery here to make sure we don't get swallowed up by the pack and put a bit of pressure on the front too. We got Alfie in P1 on the softs. We got Danny on our inside. We're leaving him the space, of course, as he's trying to fend off some soft runners. So had to work together a little bit there with Danny in order to make his race a little bit easier. But yeah, a lot of soft runners, a lot of hard runners, not a lot of people on the mediums. However, Alfie Butcher pulling off into the distance. He's going to be breaking the DRS quite easily. He's going to be breaking out of the 1 second window quite easily on those softs. And
behind him.
Yeah, we've got Danny fighting with Freddy Rasmussen quite hard in his opening lap. Softs versus hards. We've got Jake, our teammate, in P5 on the softs as well. I'm not sure what's going on, but behind us is quite a big gap actually. They're all fighting really, really hard against each other as we now move on to the end of lap 3. You can see Alfie Butcher well in the lead, well over 2 seconds ahead of us as we
push if you can.
Get past Luke Smith. Same strategy as us, and we've got Jake right behind us on the softs as he sets the fast lap of the race as well. We set the fastest last sector, however, and yeah, I was planning on kind of letting Jake go here, but yeah, he was
gonna get faster straight away.
Really far behind us here, so Yeah, I think Jake might have been a little bit low on battery, and that's why he decided to stay behind. His tires were obviously still faster at this point, and ideally for us race he would have gotten past, but he just had to recharge the battery, I assume so. And yeah, now moving on to the start of lap 15. Nothing really happened between now and 10 laps ago. The order stayed the same. We kind of slightly creeps up to the back of Alfie
just one
over time.
In the top 10, the other two from further down.
As the softs just slowly started to degrade.
Jake boxing in this lap?
Yep.
And Jake still behind us on the softs. He is going for the undercut on us basically, and trying to avoid the undercut from people behind. However, we are fine with being undercut because we're on the hards. Our hards can go longer into this race, and then we have an advantage towards the end of the race on a fresh set of mediums or softs. Both hard soft and hard medium is possible. And yeah, we are just gonna go until like lap 17, 18, 19, 20, maybe even later. But then softs start to be quite viable as well. So we're gonna get DRS here, and that helps our race a little bit. However, Alfie boxing here at the end of lap 15, so does Jake. And now we've got Luke Smith right behind us on the hards as well, and he's on the same strategy. So we're just gonna be working together here.
Trying to get DRS. Flashing.
And yeah, as you can hear my engineer say, run hard, trying to get in DRS, and using up all of his battery in order to do so, as we let Luke by and giving him the racing line. And that's just working together. When you're on the same strategy, it's just the best thing to do. You both want to get a good result.
He's under 10%.
And yeah, that's why we're just going to be overtaking each other lap after lap. We're using a bit of our battery here to get close up and use the DRS to get past. And that's just the fastest way to do this. So lap 17 we get past again, and on lap 18 in the next lap Luke will be getting past again, and we're just going to keep doing that until we're going to box. End of lap 20 now.
Box this one?
Ahead of Luke, and I'm going to be boxing, so does Luke behind us. Just making sure I stay within all the white lines. I never know really what is allowed in league racing. The rules seem to change all the time, so yeah, better safe than sorry, especially in the position we are in, leading almost a race on the hards. We just have to keep it clean from here on. A lot of people undercutting us, of course, and a lot of people that started on the softs have gone to the mediums early on, and we are doing the opposite. So we're gonna have fresh tires from here on. We got Nicolas Longuet getting past us. As you guys might remember from early on in this video, he did not do qualifying. He wanted to do a kind of last to first challenge, you know, and he boxed earlier relative to us. So we're gonna have fresher tires, and
Longuet tires, 4 lap old, 80% battery.
And yeah, as you can hear my engineer say, 4 lap all the tires. That means, yeah, he boxed 4 laps earlier than us, and he's gonna be in all the tires. So
how old are Ismail?
Behind us, we got
2.
Ismail Fassi and Danny Bresnay, both on the mediums as well. They actually just overtook Luke Smith.
He's on 53%.
We were working together with. And yeah, I think that was actually not ideal for us, because the ideal scenario is if both me and Luke kept overtaking each other lap after lap in DRS and kept working together, because that way we would catch the leading pack at a crazy rate. But now we kind of have to do it on our own. We got Ismail behind us, of course, but on all the tires, and we're going to be moving past Nicolas here on the next DRS rate. You can see we've turned the overtake on. I did not want to stay behind Nicolas for an extra middle sector, and Nicolas knows that his best way of moving forward here is not fighting this too hard and just staying in on DRS while we catch up to the rest of the grid. So green first sector there for us. As you can imagine, it only took us 1.5 laps to catch up to Joni Tomla and Barry Borman. So that was quite light work, just simply due to the fact we've got so much fresher tires. Barry started down in the pack as well. Joni went out in Q1 as well, so they've got a lot of the tires and they do not stand much of a chance. We move past Barry into turn 1, and we're going to be moving past Joni on the next DRS straight. Again, quite straightforward move coming up And then, once we get past Joni Toomala, we actually are right behind the leading pack, or not right behind, but next up is the leading pack, 3.6 seconds ahead of us. However, it only took us 2.5 laps to catch up 3.7 seconds. We had great race pace, we had great tires under our car, and yeah, we were just catching at such a crazy rate. 10 laps to go.
Have Freddie Shanaka 80 on exit and using.
And we're on 5 laps fresher tires, 80% battery.
They're all using all the time.
And as you can see, they are trying to get past us. They're fighting, losing each other time, losing each other ERS, and this is great news for us. All we need to do is just play it patiently, pick them off one by one, and yeah, we only need to even overtake
50 on exit, still using
one car per 2 laps. So yeah, we've got a time. You can see Freddy flashing ahead of us. We're not in a rush here to get past. We just need to stay out of incidents, especially considering Thomas is quite far down the pack. Ismail is behind us, so our championship leaders are not near us. As Freddy goes for a move, we go around the outside. However, we go for the switchback as the two are clashing wheel to wheel. We go around the outside into the next right-hander, and that is 2 birds in 1 stone, I think the saying goes in English. In Dutch it goes a little bit different. It's 2 twee vliegen in 1 klap. It's 2 mosquitoes in 1 hit, or something like that. But yeah, up to P4 we go, and with 9 laps to go, we have to pick off 3 more cars with 5 lap fresher tires relative to Jake and Alfie, but Alvaro boxed even earlier, if I remember correctly. And on this exit, we're going to be draining the battery to move past Alvaro. And I think Alvaro knows that he does not stand much of a chance relative to our tires. Our tires are only 8 laps old as we cross the line. His tires are 14 or 15 laps old. So yeah, no point in defending there. He will just be hurting his own race if he does so. And now we've got 2 cars ahead of us. End of lap 13 coming up, and we're going to be draining the battery once again on this exit, forcing Alfie to go on the attack and move into P1. If he does not, we move into P2, so, or even P1 actually. You can see the overspeed we have compared to Jake, who does not have DRS. And yeah, Alfie into the lead. We go into P2. We're just going to be recharging our battery, just staying behind for 1 more lap.
Alfie?
We are not in a rush to get into the lead. We've got 6 laps to move back into the lead. So we move on to the end of lap 32 now. 100% battery. And as you can hear me say there, Jake has to push her. We're going to be moving past Alfie, but we need to do together what we did to Jake himself 2 laps ago. And that just make a double move. However,
not smart.
Jake did not
just lost his chance on P2.
Use any of his overtake, and yeah, I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to break the DRS. We're gonna try, of course, as we have fresher tires, but our tires have hit the first cliff as well.
Yeah, agreed. Was Jake's decision.
It's gonna be tough to break out of the DRS, even though we've got much fresher tires. Of course, the huge pace advantage that we had to close 3.7 seconds in 2 laps is gone, and we are more like 3-4 tenths per lap faster, maybe even a little bit less from here on. So 1.5 laps to go here. We're gonna be heading into the final lap of the race, and the question is, do we have a big enough of a gap? Do we have enough of a pace advantage to cover the DRS that Alfie is about to get in this last lap? 3 DRS zones to go as we completely drain our battery in order to fend off Alfie and Jake behind us. It looks like Jake's not going to be close enough here to go for a move on the last lap. So once again, draining the battery on this next straight, and then we will
Alfie
recharge in the middle sector for that one last straight, that one last DRS zone where I lost the last PSGL race with that drag race to the line to Barry Boromant. But this time it looks like we've got a much bigger gap to Alfie Butcher, and it looks like we might actually be fine. 7 tenths ahead now as we head into this mechanical grip section. This is where our tire advantage comes in clutch. You can see we are creating a bigger and a bigger gap. 8 tenths now as we go on the exit here, pushing it as hard as we can. Make that 8.5 tenths as we go into the final corner of the race. And once again, draining the battery. But no matter what Alfie's ERS is going to be, we're going to be winning our first PSGL race around Brazil and extending the championship lead by 16 points to Thomas Ronhaar as
nice job.
His race went from bad to worse. You can see in P20 he was caught up in an incident after the pit stops, and yeah, that dropped him out of the points. And even though that's bad news for him, that's great news for us, because that means we're now leading the championship by 41 points. As you can see there, Ismail Fassi picking up only P9 on that race. Actually, make that P8 after penalties. So yeah, he moved quite a little bit closer to P2. Alfie Butcher moving in on P2 as well, but we extend the championship lead by 16 points. And yeah, we can clutch up the championship next time out in Austria if we do really well. That would be with 3 races to go. So maybe that's a little bit too much to ask for, but we have to keep our head together. We have to aim for another race win in Austria. We can take risk, a little bit more risk from here on. So yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Austria is a great track to race on. A lot of chaos usually on Austrian League races. However, I have bottled every single Austria League race on F123. 3 times I've lost a race win on F123 in the last 2 to 3 laps around there. So I'm out for revenge. I want to get a league race win on Austria in F123. I've bottled every single one of them. And next time out, we're going to try and win that. And then, of course, aim for a 4th PSGL race win in a row. Our record is 6. So, again, maybe a little bit much to ask for, but that's our aim in the next few races. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. And see you guys next time. Ciao. Yeah.